Hey guys, Nak is back and welcome to another review. Today we're taking a look at one of the biggest games of 2014, namely Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. This game was developed by Monolith Productions, the same guys that developed such games as Fear and Condemned, and it has been out for quite a while now, on PC, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3 and PS4. I played it on the PC, mainly because I got it for 10 bucks and that's almost impossible on a console, and I played it with a controller and really enjoyed it though. So basically what we have here is one of the best executions on open world games, at least in the solo category. You're dropped in Middle-earth and it's a big open world with a ton of enemies, challenges and missions. Of course you have the story missions, but honestly I didn't really care too much about that. Although it's not really a bad story if you want to know more about the Lord of the Rings universe. But what makes this game is the Nemesis system, and I'll try to explain it in a clear way without too much details. So basically the orcs and uruks have a hierarchy and ranking system with 4 different rows. The first row are weakest and the last row are strongest respectively. They are all called captains, but the top row consists of war chiefs, which play the roles of leaders. Now in this system a lot of changes can occur by defeating a certain orc and making room for other orcs to grab power, but there are also a lot of events where the orcs in question will duel each other for rankings or fight savage beasts or other weird creatures to gain power. This makes for a great system that feels alive, and all of these captains and orcs are on the map the whole time, so you will run across one every once in a while without even looking for them. What makes this all the more interesting is that those enemies are dynamic, in a way that they will recognize you and such. For example, there was a captain called Pug something something, and I completely obliterated his face the first time I encountered him. After like 30 minutes of running around looking for other captains, I see a crazy orc running towards me all alone. You guessed it already, it was Pug, who said I wouldn't be able to beat him that easy without a beast, since I killed him with a beast the first time. And his face was all patched up from the last fight. This gave a crazy feeling of immersion and the living world. All of these captains also have strengths and weaknesses you can play with, and you can interrogate orcs with info to gain info on captains, which makes for some great moments where you think your actions through instead of going in guns blazing. The graphics aren't bad, but nothing spectacular. But the gameplay is really tight and it works quite well. The running around reminds me of Assassin's Creed. You can climb buildings and do a little bit of hardcore parkour. And the fighting is amazingly fun. It's a mix between the Assassin's Creed and Batman games, but it's better than both and a little more challenging, since it's not just one button to defend every time. You also have perks for weapons, referred to as runes in this game, and they will grant you perks for more chance to recover and other handy stuff. But next to that you also have perks for yourself, increasing your focus or health and other stuff. And last but not least, you have a whole skill tree with amazing skills. From pinning enemies to the ground if you shoot an arrow in their foot, to faster movement speed after jumping an obstacle. This makes for some great progression elements and motivates you to do other stuff than the main quest. This altogether makes for one of the best executions of open world games, because except the main quest, the side missions and captains are so much fun and sometimes even better than the main quest, which really gives a sense of freedom. You do what you want when you want, where other games make the mistake of making side quests boring and nothing feels alive, nor do you really have a choice in what to do. So to summarize, the goods. There's an amazing Nemesis system, there's good but blind AI, a lot of immersion, the world feels alive, there's a good progression system, there's a good sense of freedom, super brutal finishers, a ton of options that give unique situations, and last but not least, it's the Lord of the Rings universe. And of course the bad. I feel like the graphics could have been better, I don't really see place for replayability, you get stuck behind walls and stones from time to time, the story isn't all that, and when starting out I was kind of confused. I would advise this game to anyone looking for an immersive game with a sense of freedom in a world that feels alive. And I wouldn't advise it if you're looking for a great questline, if you don't like the whole Lord of the Rings universe, and if you dislike the combat in Batman or Assassin's Creed, although it's still better in my opinion. All in all, this game made me impatient for the future of open world genre. And this was one of the best games that came out in 2014, so if you missed it, be sure to pick up a copy. You can find it at a really good price now. Thank you all for watching. Like always, hit me up if you want to see more of this game, and I hope some of you will have a new game to play and that it helps others in some way or another. Feel free to drop a like if you did or subscribe for more. And as always guys, I'll see you next time.